You think you're a rational person, but you make logical choices based on cold, hard facts. But what if I told you that from the moment you wake up, your brain is feeding you little, comfortable lies? What if the very source code of your consciousness is running on a flawed program, one that quietly twists reality without you ever noticing? It sounds like a sci-fi thriller, but it's a fundamental part of being human. Our brains are survival machines, not supercomputers. To get through an overwhelmingly complex world, they take shortcuts. Psychologists call these shortcuts cognitive biases. Think of them as your brain's default settings, designed to process an insane amount of information on the fly. But in our modern world, these ancient survival hacks often backfire. They create predictable errors in your thinking that can warp your daily decisions, crush your confidence, and silently get in the way of your success. These aren't just random mistakes. They are consistent patterns of irrationality that affects every single one of us. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most common lies your brain tells you. By the end of this, you won't just understand these glitches, you'll start to see them in yourself. And that awareness is the first step to taking back control. The first, and maybe the most dangerous lie, is that you are always right. This is called confirmation bias. It's our natural impulse to search for, favor, and remember information that confirms what we already believe, while conveniently ignoring anything that challenges us. Your brain doesn't want the messy, objective truth. It wants the comfort of being correct. This is why a social media feed feels like an echo chamber, and why that one article supporting your point of view feels more important than the 10 that do you NT. You're not looking for information. You're looking for affirmation. This bias traps us, making it hard to learn, grow, or change our minds. It's the master glitch that tricks you into thinking your perception is reality. The real damage, it kills your ability to adapt. You stick with bad investments, broken strategies, and weak arguments, all because your brain is filtering out the very evidence that could lead you to a better decision. The best way to fight this is to actively seek out dissenting opinions. Intentionally read something from a source you disagree with, or ask a friend to play devil's advocate. It'll feel uncomfortable, but think of it as mental weightlifting for a stronger, more flexible mind. Next up is a lie you've definitely seen in others, but maybe not so much in yourself. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect, a cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task tend to overestimate their skill. It's the amateur investor who gets one lucky stock pick and thinks they're a Wall Street genius. It's the person who reads a single article on a complex topic and suddenly starts arguing with seasoned professionals. This happens because the skills you need to be good at something are the asterisk. Exact same asterisk skills you need to recognize how bad you are at it. If you don't know what good performance looks like, you have no ruler to measure your own incompetence. This lie is a direct assault on your success because it makes you overconfident and encourages you to take huge risks. It stops you from seeking out valuable feedback after all. Why would you need it if you're already a pro? The antidote is to cultivate a mindset of humble curiosity. Acknowledge that the more you learn, the more you realize you asterisk. Don quotes T asterisk. No. True expertise isn't loud and arrogant. It's quiet, cautious, and always aware of its own limits. This next lie is all about protecting your ego. It's called the self-serving bias, and it's a simple but powerful distortion of reality. When something goes well, you attribute it to your own brilliance and hard work. But when you fail, suddenly, it's because of bad luck, unfair circumstances, or someone else's mistake. Aced the test. I'm a genius. Bombed it. The questions were unfair. Your brain is literally scripting your life to make you the hero in every scene. While it feels good in the moment, this bias is toxic to personal growth. If you take all the credit for success, you become overconfident. But more importantly, if you blame every failure on the outside world, you never learn from your mistakes. You rob yourself of the chance to improve, to adapt, and to build real, lasting skills. To counter this, practice radical ownership. When to file, force yourself to identify at least one thing. You could have done differently, and when you succeed, take a moment to acknowledge the luck or help you got along the way. This builds real, resilient confidence, not the fragile ego propped up by your brain's lies. Does your heart pound you're in turbulence on a plane? Do you get a little nervous about sharks when you swim in the ocean? If so, you've been tricked by the availability heuristic. This is your brain's tendency to judge how likely something is by how easily an example comes to mind. Because dramatic, vivid events like plane crashes and shark attacks are plastered all over the news, they are highly available in your memory. As a result, your brain incorrectly assumes they're common threats. Meanwhile, far deadlier, but less sensational dangers, like heart disease or car accidents, get less mental airtime and therefore feel less risky. This lie messes with your perception of risk and manipulates your decisions. You end up fearing the statistically safe flight while engaging in far riskier behavior, like texting and driving. The fix is to start thinking like a statistician. When you feel a wave of fear, ask yourself, is this based on how easily I can remember a scary story? Or is it based on actual data? Look up the numbers. Trading vivid anecdotes for cold, hard facts is one of the best ways to quiet a lying, anxious brain. Our fifth lie is one that destroys productivity, fuels procrastination, and dials up our stress. It is the planning fallacy. Our chronic inability to correctly estimate how long a task will actually take. You tell yourself you'll finish that big report in 2 hours, build the website over a weekend, or clean the entire house on Saturday morning. Your brain tells you this lie with the best of intentions. It's an optimist. It pictures a future where you're a perfect, focused machine with no interruptions. It completely ignores your entire life's history of projects taking twice as long as you expected. This bias constantly sets you up for failure. You miss deadlines, feel rushed, and eventually, you lose faith in your own ability to follow through. The most effective counter is to break it down. Instead of guessing a total time for a big project, break it into tiny subtasks and estimate each one. And even better, use your own past as a guide. If similar tasks have always taken 4 hours, don't believe your brain when it whispers that asterisk. This time asterisk, you can totally do it in 1. Have you ever finished a terrible movie just because you were already an hour in? Or kept pouring money into a failing project because you'd already invested so much? That's your brain trapping you with the sunk cost fallacy. It's the lie that you have to continue with something just because of the time, money, or effort you've already sunk into it. Your brain hates admitting a loss. To avoid that painful feeling of waste, it will convince you to keep going, arguing that your past investment justifies your future. But logically, the resources you've already spent are gone te sunk. The only rational question is whether the asterisk future asterisk potential is worth it, not what you've spent in the past. This bias is a saboteur. It keeps people in dead-end jobs, failing businesses, and unhealthy relationships long after they should have walked away. To escape this trap, reframe the decision. Ask yourself, knowing what I know right now, if I were starting from scratch today, would I make this choice? If the answer is no, it's time to cut your losses and move on. And our final lie is maybe the most relatable of all. It's that little voice that whispers, just one more episode. You can start that project tomorrow. This is hyperbolic discounting. The bias that makes your brain crave immediate rewards over better long-term benefits. Your brain is wired for instant gratification. A small reward asterisk. Right now, asterisk feels much more valuable than a larger, more significant reward in the distant future. The pleasure of a cookie today feels more real than the health benefits of avoiding it for a year. The comfort of the couch feels better asterisk now asterisk than the satisfaction of being fit 6 months from now. This lie is the engine of procrastination, and it quietly sabotages your health, your finances, and your career by always choosing the easy path today over the rewarding path tomorrow. The best strategy is to make the future feel more present. Visualize your future self and what they would gain from your hard work today. You can also hack the system by creating small, immediate rewards for good long-term behavior. By doing this, you trick your brain's love for instant gratification into working for you, not against you. Confirmation bias. Dunning-Kruger, the sunk cost fallacy. These are just a handful of the dozens of lies your brain tells you. They aren't a sign that your mind is broken. They're the side effects of a mind built for efficiency. Your brain evolved to keep you safe and save energy, not to see the world with perfect, objective clarity. You probably can't get rid of these biases entirely, but you don't have to. The simple act of knowing they exist is revolutionary. By understanding what to look for, you can start to question your own thoughts and assumptions. You can pause before making a snap judgment and ask, Wait a minute. Is my brain lying to me right now? That moment of reflection is where your power is. It's the space where you can override the default script and choose a more intentional path. True mental clarity doesn't come from having a perfect brain, but from understanding the imperfections of the one you've got. If you want to keep exploring the fascinating and sometimes flawed ways your mind works, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching.